Hi, I'm Dr. Rhea Hogseth, founder and director of the Pediatric Dental Team Association. So now that you've got a new hire, do you have a system to help onboard them into your office? Do you have a person that is responsible for their training, or do you just kind of bring them in, introduce them to everybody, and it's sink or swim? I know that's what a lot of us do because we feel like we're too busy to really sit down and train the person as they need to be trained, but at the same point in time, if you don't have time to train them right the first time, you certainly don't have time to go through the whole hiring process again with another new employee and doing it again. So I urge you to have an onboarding system in place, and here's some suggestions of how to do that. So once you've got your new hire, assign a mentor, kind of their wingman, from your office. It doesn't have to be somebody with the same job description, but it can be. And have that person either email or call the new hire, introduce themselves, and let them know maybe what to wear that day. Is there a microwave there? Is there things that they need to know about the office that can help make that first day smoother? Maybe there's a special parking lot they're supposed to be in. Whatever will help them. And then you want to make sure that that mentor is there to meet them that very first morning. I would also suggest that docs, you allow that mentor to take that new employee out for lunch that first day. It will calm so many new jitters, and we all remember being that new person somewhere and there's nobody you know to have lunch with you. If your office is a lot like mine, everybody kind of does their own thing at lunch, or maybe they're already planning on going someplace else and forget to ask the new person. So let's just make that first day be great for that new hire. So once you get them in the office, if you have a morning huddle, make sure you introduce this new person at the morning huddle. And if your staff is not too big, everybody else can introduce themselves too and what job they do in the office. And then once you break from the huddle and everybody goes about what their duties are for that day, have the mentor take your new hire and go through the office paperwork that you need. All the information for the payroll, any other tax kind of things you need. Maybe there's some office paperwork that you like to gather that has some information a little more personal. Maybe it's their birth date or their family, how many kids, their ages, that type of thing. And have that all set up. And then you're going to want them to have access to your employee manual and make sure that they sign off on it. It would be a great idea to have that printed that they can actually take home and read, but make sure that they have reviewed it and have signed that they have been given it and understand it. And then also, if you have anything else that you can give them, it might be some office protocols. Maybe it's your standard operating procedures for their job description. It could be the scripting in the office. What are the way you guys say and address different things? Anything that can help them kind of feel more at ease. Also, the emergency plans. What if something happens that first day that they're there? They need to know what some of those basic plans are. And also make sure, of course, you give them a tour of the office so they know exactly where to put their things, where the bathrooms are, and everything else that you want them to know about the office. You can also use a checklist with that new employee so that you know that everything's been done. And all these things can be listed out and who's going to do them. You can also do something as simple as how do they greet patients in your office? How do they answer the telephone? How do they dismiss the patient in your office? Even if they're just helping walking them to the front, you want them to know how to do that. So you can teach them some very basic things that first day to really help keep the flow going in your office. And then once you finish with all that kind of preliminary stuff, if you have gotten it through that day, if not, start it the next day, then go ahead and pull out the checklist for their specific job description that they have and have the mentor start going through it and evaluate that new hire. What skills do they already have and what do they need some training on? And then once that mentor knows what it is that they need the training on, she can use the checklist to go ahead and assign it to a different team member. And then that team member is responsible for making sure that that new hire is trained in that procedure and sign them off when they have mastered it. So as an office, you can go ahead and figure out where you're going to start with them. It might be sterilization. It might be helping break down and set up rooms. Whatever you're going to do first, hygiene assistant, and get that trained all the way first and then start adding to that. And that will get this new hire productive, and by having other team members teach them the things they need to know in your office, it helps them kind of get into the group a little bit quicker. These are just some ideas you can try. This has been your Practice Pro from the PDTA, and I'll see you on the next one.